Yeah, so we're gonna start out, starting out, you've been sitting a little bit, so let's go ahead and just extend. And point and flex, point and flex. The reason I go this way is in India, you're trained never to, the teacher never goes, never shows the soles of the feet. Did you know that? And I mean, you can, you see the soles of my feet, but I don't point them to you because it'd be rude. Okay. And then from here, maybe you're gonna take a block, maybe not, maybe 2 blocks. You're gonna sit in what we call Virasana. Turn this back on. It's Virasana hero pose, but in not that I'm gonna do everything Japanese style, but I just shared with you Ichigo Ichie, this philosophy of almost like carpe diem, seizing the moment, seizing the day, seizing the moment. But in Japan, this would be like a zazen seated pose. And we're going to be looking at, we're going to be stretching hamstrings today, looking at lots of poses that will eventually lead us towards working on Warrior 3. So let's interlace fingers. And if you're very uncomfortable, if your knees don't like this compression, just sit regular style. And then reaching up. And some of you don't even need a block. You can sit right on your heels comfortably. Shoulders are down. Look up your hands and breathe. And exhale. I'm thinking about that. One opportunity, one encounter. And it could be with a person with an life experience, or with your yoga asana. And then you'll release and you'll hook your thumbs together behind your back and squeeze shoulder blades together, chin down. Look ahead of you, look upward. And then look past one shoulder. And look past the other shoulder. Good. And once again, we're going to repeat that. The only thing is that you move fingers over one notch. And I care. And pressing over. Shoulders are down, and then arms coming up. Looking upward. Relaxing your jaws. And then arms out to the sides. Once again, hook your thumbs together, but reverse the pattern. Go the other way, which is really weird to go the other way. And chin is down. Looking ahead of you. Looking upward. And then looking past one shoulder. And looking past the other shoulder. Let's do a side bend movement from Virasana. So what's nice is, especially if you have a block, you could, and some are sitting on the heels, but you're really trying to keep your far sitting bone down and stretching. If you're going to your right, then your left sitting bone stays down. And reaching to the fingertips. Maybe you can bend your lower elbow a bit more without your far sitting bone dropping, coming up. And then let's release and take it the other way, breathing in. And exhale over. Lengthening. And maybe that lower elbow starting to bend. Beautiful. And then releasing. And a simple twist is really a simple twist. Your spine is really upright and you turn, you look back. Deep breath in, and it's when you exhale that you can deepen the twist. And then taking it the other direction, hand across knee. And especially if you're on blocks, it's really hard to reach the floor. So you might be like pushing in your foot and lengthening. Good. And then releasing. So now we come forward on our mats, and you can take your block away and come towards the front end of your mat. Curl toes under, push back with your heel, it's pushing back. And it's like you're really the ball of the foot down, heel pressing back, let your neck release. And then the other side. So, for you, it might be a terrific calf stretch, Achilles tendon stretch, ankle, you might feel nothing. Okay. I always feel this because my calves are on the tight side. So I'm pushing the ball of the foot down, pressing back with the heel, head is dropping down, good, breathing in, exhale, and then back. So let's just come right to child's pose. Press back, lower your head, reaching the arms forward, and taking a few deep rounds of breath into the back. So let's go ahead and we're going to come to kneeling. And once you come to kneeling, let's clasp hands behind the back. So beginnings of camel, everyone's different and it's been warm out. So maybe you realize that you feel that you come into your session a lot more limber just from the start. So maybe this is enough for you, or take your hands onto your low back, reach back more. And maybe curling toes under, you have a half camel, reaching one hand down, one arm up, and pressing your pelvis forward so your thighs are on the vertical line. And then chin down as you reverse. Reach, one arm down, one arm up, second side, and breathe. Exhaling. And then we come out. So the counter pose is you be on your fists and round into your back. It's cat and really rounded. And it is really the counter pose. You're drawing your chin in towards your chest, rounding, and then come to neutral place. So I have my little knee padding here. Take one block and you'll see how we work this next part. And yeah, we may do that. I'm good. Yeah. And so it's warm in here. Yeah. All right, so we have a block, and you're going to bring your block on your back. All right. Those of you who have your cameras off online, lucky you, because if the block falls, you won't be embarrassed. Okay, so because we're going to be doing tiger, and I want you to really engage your core. If you have your block lower, like at your glutes, it's going to move, it's probably going to fall. So it's really at your lumbar. And so you have this tabletop position, you're engaging your core. Let's just do where you just reach your right arm, extend your right arm, and not just palm facing down, but palm facing the center. And that because it's like, that's what the arm position is in Warrior 3 later. And then lower, and let's do the other side, left arm up, palm, and that's fairly easy, I think. But, and yet you're looking down and you're trying to really get your arm aligned with your ear and down. Now, opposites, right arm, left leg, and you're extending, trying to get your leg parallel to the floor. Right arm, you're going to take that palm, turning it so the palm is facing inward. If you had both hands out to the side, out, they would be facing each other. And then lower, and the other side, left hand, right knee extending, you're holding steady, breathing, you're looking down. It's like an extended tabletop with those tables that have the extensions at holiday time. We've got one on either end. Lower and a regular card table, and then extend, and you've got the extended holiday table here. Breathing in, exhale, and lower, and again, extend, reaching. And some will find this super basic, easy, and others will say, oh, okay, there's a little challenge in there. So right arm, left leg, and let's see what happens. Right arm goes to the right, left leg goes to the left. I'm not hearing any blocks dropping. That's very good. And then let's do the other side. Left arm extending, right leg extending, and then they go out to the side, left to the left, right to the right, and then back to center and release and taking the block away. Good work. Press on back. Let's take the block to the thighs and press back to downward facing dog. So the block is at the thighs, so you have to kind of squeeze it in. When you squeeze into the block, the sits bones have an opportunity to widen, and you're breathing. Let's come to upward facing dog. So you still have the block in place, your paws in your plank. And if you really need to, you can still drop your knees down, but squeeze. And if at all possible, knees are up, look upward. And then slowly squeeze as you go back. Now walk your hands back to your feet. At the back end of your mat, make sure the block is level with your thighs so it doesn't poke into your torso. And here you are in a forward bend. Ooh, hello, hamstrings. And if you're very, very tight, you can always soften your knees. I think you'll still get a good stretch. And release your neck. Let all the extra thoughts just kind of flow off your head. Like it's almost like they're just like a waterfall. And all the extra thoughts are leaving right now. The waterfall's cascading. You're going to flood the room, maybe with those extra thoughts, but who cares? They're out of the mind right now. And then you come up and sweep the arms up, extend, palms are together, arch back. And once again, when you come down. And as you come down, you've got the block in place. A little weird, but we'll look at chair. And this is nice because Kristen had asked about knees. And if you're ever concerned about your knees, you want to strengthen your quads. So even if it's about like if your knees just feel really tight, or if you have a little arthritis in your knee, this is really good. Really, really good to do. Breathing in. Exhale, maybe you can drop down a little more. I prefer doing chair without a block in place. Good. And then lower, straightening the legs. It's like the recipe for success. You fatigue your quads so your hamstrings let go. And then come on up. And from here, you're going to reach one wrist. I'm grabbing my right wrist and I'm going to side bend, lean over to one side. And I'm going to grab my left wrist and come over to the side and let your pelvis shift. And this is my left arm going over to the right. Do that one more time each side. Grab hold of your right wrist and shift. Let your pelvis sway to the other side. Make a crescent shape with your body. Good. And breathe. And then the other side. Squeeze into the block. Reach up. Grab a hold of your left wrist. Stretch. Look down, look ahead of you. That's the easiest on the neck. And then coming up. And here we are in the lower. Take the block, come to your forward bend, but take the block away. And see what it's like to maybe bring your feet a little closer in. Kind of nice without the block. Release your neck. Go wider with the feet, come to a squat if you want to sit on your block, if your knees are not so happy with that, or coming as deeply as you can, and you could shift a little. Your elbows help to pry the knees open. Side stretch, good. Knees are dropping down. Everyone is so different in the squat, and it's just so many variables. How we come into this. And then press up. Use your hands to help you press up. Here's another one that extend eagle is one of the best poses for the knees. Because eagle is really great for all the joints of the body. It works they say every single joint, I think except the jaws, unless you're talking. Okay, so bend your knees. And already you can kind of feel, okay, there's a lot of joints involved in that. And then shift your weight towards one leg and raise one leg. If you're modifying, you would probably be like what I'm showing, like a figure 4, or you're wrapping. And then which leg is on top, opposite arm comes on top. And again, the pose that brings nourishment to the joints of the body. Breathe into the space between the shoulder blades, like the back of your heart center. Exhale. Also represents having a vision of the eagle. And think about vision in general, vision in its many, many senses of the word. So come on out. And then just looking at your feet, have your feet together, hands are to heart center, close the eyes for a moment. And that focus on what we call a third eye, which people have actually asked me why the third eye. Where does that come from? It's symbolic of a different way of perceiving, a different way of seeing, a way of intuiting, of tuning in. A different way of being introspective, perspective. It's like, there's so much to that. So let's try the other way and all the different ideas that go with this pose. So your feet could be apart, knees are bent. People forget to bend the knees from the beginning, and then engage your core and come over into this pose. So whatever leg's on top, the opposite arm comes up. That's also great for the brain. Crossing right arm over left leg over the other, breathing. Exhale. You have to kind of look past your arms. Your arms are so close to your eyes, they can blur. You just see past your arms. Beautiful. And come on out and then release. And once again, standing in mountain, feet are together, hands are to heart. And just standing in mountain for a moment and having that sense of, oh, yes, I'm developing a new way of seeing. It's a constant tapping in, developing. You're still at the back of your mat. You're going to reach your arms up, arch back, and then come forward. And this time, you might have to bend your knees to go there. You're going to slip your hand under your foot. Padasana, hand under foot pose, literal translation. So you have if you can, you're taking the foot, the toes right up against the inside wrist, if you can. And then it's fine to have your knees bent, you can straighten, but we're not locking out. Release your neck. There's two ways to do the pose, and they may not make a whole lot of sense unless the knees are bent. One is you bring your head towards your knees, and the other is that you extend your back and you look ahead of you without straining your neck. So I can straighten my back, my eyes don't look too far ahead of me. And then you free your hastas, free your hands. Blanket, if you have it in the way, you can move it. You're going to walk forward. And there you are in the plank position. And breathe, inhale, exhale. So I'm not saying left or right. You're going to drop one knee down. And for better balance, like I took my left knee down, so I took my left hand to the left. If you brought your right knee down, bring your right hand more to the right. And you'll come to this, what looks like a modified plank, but that's because you could stay here or you could reach your top hand to your back foot. So we get quads. And maybe you're like, I can't do this form of tiger. Good, beautiful. And your foot is pointed when you hold. And if you can, look up at the ceiling. Good. Breathing in. Exhale. Opening the shoulder, opening this one side of your chest. Right? And then release, make fists, and round into your back again. So that brings your wrists into a neutral position. And then we'll do the second side. So if you're going to lean towards your right, for example, your right hand has to go to the side. So whichever hand is supporting you needs to move to the side. And then you come up and maybe that's where you're at. You're in it's like a modified side plank. And then some of you are going to become the tiger. You hold on to the ankle. It's one of the many variations. And look up, kick the leg, breathing in. Exhale. And then release. And once again, make fists and round your back, press, work. We're going to segue onto our backs. So once you're onto your back, and we kind of start out, with those hamstring stretches, kind of, intense ones, right? So you're taking your, medium, because there's more intense than that. So we're going back and we're pulling knee into chest, right knee to chest. I always start out the right knee, always on this one, because you have the right ascending colon, and the left side is descending. And it's super important. If you do the other one, you'll be constipated. Seriously, start on the left, you go to the right, not good. So it's a very interesting, this is one pose where you're always like, okay, start on the right. Take your legs, straighten it, take your hands behind your knee. And some of you are like, oh, really, really, really tempted to take a strap. See if you can just have your hand behind your knee. Bend your knee. Exhale, straighten the leg. Bend the knee, relax the foot. Exhale, straighten the leg and push out through the heel. One more. Inhale, release, relax your foot. Exhale, straighten the leg. And then lift your head, optional. Walk your hands further up your leg. Maybe you're like, that's it. Or maybe you can walk up, who knows, up, and head towards knee. Breathe in. Exhale. And release, and we have a whole second side. So grabbing hold behind the left knee. You have a second side. And then straighten and flex. Bend the knee, relax your foot. Straighten. Inhale, release. Exhale, straighten. And straighten as long as it takes you to exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale, straighten. And you can stay right here with your head down, or you start to lift and you start to walk your hands further up the leg to the heel, to the foot, and bring your head towards your knee and breathe. Lower your head, lower the leg. Good work. Let's just come right up to sitting. And there'll be different ways, we do rock and roll, we go towards plow. Not everybody does plow, that's fine. So you're sitting up, and every time you come up, it'll be something slightly different. And have your straps handy for that part. And then I'll show what coming back looks like. So lengthen your spine, breathe in, exhale, and then we go back. So some use the hands, some go back without, just kind of slowing it down, using your core. Your legs are up in the air. And if you're really not into going to plow, let's all just try this. You lift your head and you're going to work on a little core work. Okay. Or maybe you have a block and you put it underneath you. We're not here too long. Some are going back to plow, halasana. Maybe your feet don't go all the way down, or maybe your feet do, but you're avoiding looking left or right. Look up at your legs and breathe. And then lower and come up to sitting. Legs are stretched out in front of you. Reach your arms up, making a big L shape. Breathe in. Exhale, and then reach for your feet. Lengthening the spine, and then lower your head. Elbows dropping down. And breathe. Lengthen the spine, look ahead, breathe in, exhale, and then come back. So come back, and you know what to do. Either you're going towards plow, or you're going to come to something like a core work. And then once you're going to the plow, I'm going to ask you to bring one foot down. Your hands can support your back, and one leg up in the air. One foot reaching up overhead as far as it'll go. The hands supporting your back, and then reverse. One leg up, one leg reaching down. Maybe it doesn't go all the way down. That's okay. And then we all come out and come back. And this time, bending your right knee. Reach up, forming kind of an L shape with your body, and then reach for your left foot. Using a strap is fine on these. And lower your head towards your left knee. Take a moment to breathe into your side ribs. So my hope is that we do have a blend of, it's not just all stretching, there's stretch and strain in every session. Right now, this happens to be deep stretching. Someone told me the reason she loves yoga so much is that self-talk, the self-talk, the self-inner critic just kind of goes away for a while. She said that. And she said she just really enjoys this being with the pose, no matter how perfect, how imperfect, wherever we're at. It's exactly where she is, and then she doesn't have that she notices how that self-talk just starts to go away. And I hope that's, I loved her, and I love when she described that, and I hope that's something we all have a chance to experience in the yoga practice. Let's reach the arms up and twist. So your twist could be exactly what you're doing now. It could also be like half lotus. You know, we have different levels in here. Half lotus would be that my right foot is up on my left thigh and my right hand wraps back to grab hold of it. Using a strap. And then from here, optionally, you could stay with your twist or come to a side plank. So the side plank might be one knee down, legs scissored, or legs stacked. 4. Yes, and you could do little fancy variations. You take your top leg up. See what works for you. We're going to lower and come down. We have another side. So now it's left knee bending, right leg straight. And we're going to start out with reaching the arms up, create like an L shape. And then come forward, lower your head, reach. And if you're able to reach your foot without a strap, then you're trying to get your left hand to the outside right foot. So your left lower back gets more of a stretch. Take another breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And then you reach up and there's a twist. So yeah, you're twisting now towards your left knee. And if you wanted to come into a half lotus, you may do that. And maybe you're able to reach back, some use a strap. You can go into half lotus and then some will stay with the twist, or you're starting to come to your side plank. And any way that you worked before, you can imitate or carry that over the second side. And then releasing, coming down, good work. All righty. And then from here, so we're coming back to, we're coming forward And what I would do, I cross the legs, I come over, I'm gonna end up on my elbows. And you could clasp hands for dolphin, or palms are flat, that's more intense, and then you extend your legs. So there's a lot, your arm, your upper body has to be so strong. And then from here, can you walk your feet in more, taking your pelvis up? So it's like your dorsal fin is growing and you're trying to take your weight up over your arms. And then going back to plank, woo, walking back and pausing here, looking at your hands, breathing in. Exhale. And then pressing up again. Now, you don't have to walk in as close, just walk in a place where you feel, okay, there's my dolphin, and one leg comes up. And then switch sides, the other leg comes up. Knees down, press your hands back by your heels, let your body rest, let your shoulders release, breathing in. Exhale. And now we come on to belly. So once you come onto your belly, let's go ahead and we'll do this one. These are like Shalabhasana, they're locusts. And so at first, you'll have one hand over the other, your forehead is down, and you're just going to take one leg up. A lot of times we swing the leg over, but today I'm just saying, let's just take one leg up, and as if you have a drawstring attached to the heel and it's being pulled up. This is the first one. And then lower. And the other side. Leg comes up. And repeat that. And then do the other side. Okay, for like it's your own. Okay, so we've done both. Right now we switch things up a little bit. Your hands are going to move back, and they're back by the side, and you're going to push your feet down into the mat and then lift. Now everyone wants to tense up the neck. See if you can work with your back muscles. Reach your arms back. Legs are powerful right now. The legs are active and the feet are pushing down. Glutes are strong. And then take your arms out to a T without straining your neck. Bring your arms forward. And then lower your head and breathe. Your forehead resting on your hands again. And exhale. Let's interlace fingers behind the back, lift up, and then look over your right shoulder. Let your arms swing to the left and see if you can look back at your heel. You see your heel back there? Okay. And then let's go the other way. Turn. So you're going to look back at your left heel and your arms shift to the right. And then back to center. And then from here, hands are at the chest, press back. Anahata asana. So anahata, basically your forehead is down, pelvis up into the air, and take a moment here to really stretch your spine, stretch your shoulders. It is it's an extension pose. It's really nice. This really brings a lot of focus onto the shoulders. And forward one more time, and we have our cobras. So onto the belly. Of course, you can always do the spider hands, which seems to, you know what, we're going to do it. I'll tell you why. Your hands are at the sides. We'll do both ways. Some don't like this if their fingers are arthritic. I've been told. Okay, so elbows are up and the hands are alongside the shoulders, as high as shoulders. Press up. The reason we're doing this is this requires a strong back, but also flexibility and lower. So the two come in hand in hand. Inhale, press up. There's a little retention at the end. And exhale. Last one. If you're like me and your feet are off the sticky mat, move up so you can really push your toes into the mat. Inhale. And exhale. Oh, now hands are right by the chest and your thighs are going to stay grounded for cobra. Inhale. Elbows are at the sides, like the hood of the cobra. Really, they're not bowing out. And when they come in, they press straight back. So you use your triceps to lower your body. You use your triceps to press up. Inhale, second time. And exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. Arching your back. And exhale, lower. And once again, you can bring your head down and just rest for a moment. Before child's pose, a really nice back release is you bend your knees are wide, and you have the windshield wiper, the back windshield wiper. Yep. Going back and forth. You're flexing your ankles and you're trying to touch the floor. Yeah. And some people, what? You do that. And they'll straighten their legs. But what I want you to do is shift your pelvis more. Like when I go to the left, my right knee slides up, believe it or not, on the sticky mat. Okay. Child's pose. Press back. Downward facing dog. Let's take the right leg up into the air. Right leg is up high. And right foot comes forward. Back knee, you can have a little padding under your knee. And you have your crescent moon. Oh, you're going to have blocks nearby. I'll tell you why. So at first, not everybody needs them for crescent moon. Arching. But if you wanted to go deeper, you would be going towards Hanuman Asana. And whatever you do, I want those blocks. It's the splits. Hanuman Asana is the splits. Don't leave yet. Okay. And it might be that you're like, wow, I need a lot of blocks, a lot of support, and that counts. That's good. That's fine. If you can get your foot slightly forward of your knee, you're on your way. In my book, you're on your way. Hanuman is the monkey, right? Hanuman leaping, flying across the Himalayas in search of an antidote to save his friend who's ingested poison. He's got 24 hours. So he leaps, he's mighty, he's strong, and he leaps. And it's fine. This is a difficult pose. So if you have a lot of support, that's valid. Okay. And Hanuman leaps, he brings his arms up. Your hands to your heart. Now, one more breath here. And to come out, the safest way to come out, if you went really far, is you drag your foot, even if you take the mat with you. And then when you're in a safe place, then you can release the foot. Okay. Come back to child's pose, just stretch out your back. And let's do the other side. So, you can start out, maybe the blocks are on your side, and maybe that's the best you can do is be in a supported lunge. And of course, there's crescent moon, which is such a beautiful pose. Any phase of this crescent. and some of you are going towards your one. So again, I can really, and the closer the blocks are to your sitting bone, probably the safer, because if you're very, very tight and afraid of injury, because you have, you know, if you've had past injury, you're going to be super cautious. You, the insertion point is right by the sits bone. So that's the most vulnerable part of your hamstring. And then some need 2 blocks, some have one, some have none. Where's Julie? Yeah, we're all thinking about Julie. She was mentioned earlier. She was the one who did yoga every single day here at SAC. And she could do these, just plop right into them and go, yeah, I love this one. So reach your arms up, reaching. What I love to do, go ahead and support a little bit, take another breath. Exhale with Julie, because she's so limber. I would go over and whisper in her ear and give her something more challenging that would involve her muscles, right? And I'd say, okay, you're going to not go all the way, and then you're going to hold, and you're going to try to lift your back leg. You know, I'd give her the impossible, and she would give me a look and do it and be able to do it. Let's go back. That's fun. I said, you're so limber. We're going to work on a little more strength here. She do it. She's just as strong as she was limber as she is limber. Go ahead and lower your head, breathing in, exhale, and up we go to standing. It's so funny because, I mean, really, I mentioned Warrior 3 so long ago, and you're like, maybe she forgot. Yeah. So let's go ahead and have your blocks. You never know. We're going to work just at different variations. So the very first one, and you need your strap. Oh, you don't need your blocks really, but you need your strap. The first one. I like to hold, these straps are wonderfully long, but I like to hold on to the buckle piece. And I'm going to have my left arm up, my right hand back. And I'm going to shoulder floss. I just heard, again, I get really good feedback from people. I said, this person had a pinched nerve in her neck. She went to the PT, and the PT had her doing this. And she said, oh, cool, this is shoulder flossing. He said, what did you call it? She said, shoulder flossing. We did this in yoga. He said, yes, okay. That's what I want you to do. So notice your head doesn't shift forward, can keep your head in the forward position. Let's do the other side. Side, shoulder flossing, get all the gunk out of your shoulders so they move. And that gunk might include stress and tension. No place for that in your body. It's gunk. Not that one. Okay. So what, then you can, if that bothers you, can just, okay. So we're coming into it. We're at the right. So we'll just start with the right. Your right arm is up, therefore your left foot is forward. You're going to look up. And you're going to bend, like you step into the leg, and it could be that you go a little bit, or you make kind of like a T with your body, but you keep extending. Your back foot could be, in this one, it could be pointed or flexed. Come on. Lower the arms, take a breath. Left arm back, left arm is up. If your left arm is up, then the opposite foot comes forward. Look up, breathe, and then engage your core. Step into the pose. Don't come into it straight leg. You give yourself a lot of strap. And in this one, we're just looking down at the mat and the floor. Point or flex your foot. And then up and release. Taking your strap down. On this next one, you could, I think this is a good idea. We're going to use the mirrors, which means that have to kind of spray the mirrors down if your foot's, you know, we'll leave footprints on the mirrors. Yes, so that's what we're gonna work on. I'm going to just change you don't have to have your mat. Actually, I wouldn't even have a mat. At home, you have a wall, maybe your foot. So I'm gonna bring my foot on the wall. You can have your foot on a cabinet, on an armoire, on the piano, wherever it is. And as long as whatever you're putting your foot on is steady, it could be a door, as long as someone's opening the door. You gotta think about all these things. Well, there was a way that I learned where you turn around, you bring your foot to the wall, you turn and you're like, oh, that's the measurement. Invariably, it hardly works for me. Okay, so I'm gonna come down. And again, that today it worked, isn't it great? Today it worked. Sometimes that measurement doesn't work. So I have my foot on the wall. And I want to look at my foot on the wall. And is it pointing down? I hope it's pointing down. If you're too close to the wall, which often is the case, you have to kind of hop away from it. Okay. Some of you are in the middle of the room. That works too. Okay. Let's just take left hand to heart. And then right hand to heart. Oh. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So some of you are like, just one hand to heart or both hands to heart. Maybe you're happy there. Your arms come out to a T. Maybe your hands go back by your pelvis and you lift. It's like you can look forward. It's like arabesque. And maybe your arms come all the way forward, palms touch, forward, reach for the block, come to the happiest squat in the universe. You could sit on your blocks or come to a squat and stretch out your back. Yeah. And use your hands, press up. Other side. So you'll have a better idea of where to be now. You don't have to measure it out. So reverse, don't do the same side twice. And then as you're here, some of you might just stay with hands on the block, and that's fine. Or one hand to heart. And maybe the other hand to heart. Oh, you're weaning quickly here. And then taking the arms out to a T. And arms back by your pelvis. And then you can lift your body. Yeah, that's it. And maybe you have the strength to bring your arms forward, palms together. And then you look up at your thumbs. And then lower. And you come to your squat again. Hallelujah. And breathe. Exhale. So we're going to make our way back to our mats, or back to the center of the room. That was good. You did it. Yeah. You know, we started out with that Ichigo Ichie, that once in a lifetime, which translates to roughly once in a lifetime, the Japanese cultural concept, philosophy of treasuring each moment. And then we actually did something with Virasana, and it was like Zazen, and now we're going to do something that my friend Kazuko does in her yoga class every Friday. She does yoga every day, and then on Fridays she does this. So your hands are loose and you're curled, and there's like a little bit of a space where your fingers go in, and that's what's gonna make the low clap, the little slap sound, or pop, pop, pop. Okay. And the idea is maybe start with your dominant hand and keep your arm. And if it wasn't summer, I'd probably see a red flush to the surface of my skin. Maybe see a little red flush. And it's really what she says, it's getting key to the surface, ki as in Aikido, or chi as in Qigong, Tai Chi, or prana in yoga as in pranayama, prana to the surface. Okay, do the other. Like that, and pop, pop, pop.
Now your fingers relaxed.
Yes, fingers are relaxed. Fingers are relaxed. I'm trying to relax my arm too. Mhm. Yeah. And then your legs. Okay, so do one leg and both hands. Upper thigh, go towards the knee, go to the top of the thigh. Go to your calves, either side of your calves. Look how dense that is, right? You feel how dense the calves are. Hope your legs are dense too. And then just bring your hands to your knees. This is for Kristen especially. Bring your hands, feel the warmth from your hands. And let that heart energy soak into your knee joint. Oh, let's do the other side. So I kind of move one leg out of the way and I'm going to start. It's really loud. Good. So if you guys all had your audio on, I should be able to hear it on mine too. Okay. And then top of the thigh, chi flowing, energy. And then let's go to the calves. Your thing is soft, your wrists are all loose. Fingers loose. Ooh, dense calves. Okay, and then take your hands and just bring them over your knee. And let your knee absorb, the energy from your hands originates from your heart. Everything you do with your hands in yoga, the idea is everything comes from your heart. When you cook, when you play music, you play an instrument, when you do your sports, when you do your yoga. I mean, anything when you caress, when you touch, everything comes from love. When you talk, you're done. Use your hands. And then release. And we're going to lie back. Okay. So you're getting all cozy in Shavasana. Now, I didn't say this, but if you wanted to do a bridge pose, that's fine. Or I kind of, normally I would do that. But intuitively, I just, like for myself, I feel like, wow, Shavasana is perfect right now. And here you are. And maybe you still feel that we'll call it a flush on your skin. Flow through your body. Everyone here has a towel in studio. Everyone's got a towel nearby. You might want to put that on. Completely relax your body. And notice one of the many gifts of yoga is the idea that you find this stillness. Taking this last minute here to immerse yourself in this experience. And I was going to say, as the Ichigo Ichie Japanese cultural philosophy, immerse yourself in this unrepeatable moment. This, and savoring, treasuring the unrepeatable moment of nature of each moment, the unrepeatable nature of each moment. And what does it mean to treasure something and to savor something, such as this moment? And then we'll start to move the hands and the feet. And as you're ready, begin to deepen the breath, roll to one side. Make your way to sitting.